What's up? What's up? What's up? Who Dey Nation? I know it's been a while. What's going on? Waiting for some of you guys to get in here, but I couldn't come by and let this moment go by. I know it's been a while. Definitely wanted to let you guys know. You guys probably already know that the new season schedule is dropped. So with that said, I'm gonna try to go ahead and get something popping. Let's see. I miss you guys too, man. Hey, I apologize for not being here. I've been out of commission for a little while. Getting used to the new job. Had to get a new computer and everything, so it's been a while, but I still been working though. For those that have been down with me with Prime and everything, still got Prime going. Prime is actually, for the most part, pretty much done. We got, going into next week. You already know we got the draft coming up. So I already have Prime together. I'm just waiting to get a couple of draft projections in there, and I'm going to share some of those videos with you. But we got to talk about the new schedule. So as you guys are probably saying, I wanted to do a share screen, but it looks like since I'm going live, I can't do a share screen. So I'm just going to give you guys my immediate reaction and what I think is going to happen. And then I will probably open the floor for some questions. I know it's been a while since I've been on. So I will go ahead and open the floor after I finish the schedule. So the first game, season opener, is against the Seahawks at Seattle. That's a tough game, bro. That's a very tough game because the Seahawks also have the 11th man. It's one of the hardest places to play at in the NFL. That's going to be Zach Taylor's first game. That's going to be a very good game to see exactly where the Bengals are at. We don't necessarily have to win that game immediately, especially going up against Russell Wilson, who just got his new contract to become the highest paid player in the NFL. He did a lot for the Seahawks last year. I actually had a friend at my last job that was a Seahawks fan that, believe it or not, last year they thought that they were going to be picking in the top 5 at one point in the season. Then Russell Wilson turned their season around. So going off of that, it's going to be hard-pressed to see us go in there and do it. But that being said, we did go in there, or they did come to Cincinnati, and we did beat them the last time that we matched up with them. So that's going to be a tough game. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Second week versus San Francisco. Not as tough of a game. It's actually at home, opening up against the 49ers. The only thing is that we're going to be going against Jimmy Garoppolo. But you're talking about a 49ers team that's picking, second in the draft this year? That is a game that the Bengals have to go ahead and win. The 49ers are trash. I do agree with that, Pixel. They're not super trash, but Jimmy Garoppolo makes them a lot better. Without Jimmy Garoppolo, they struggle as a team. But whenever you have a good quarterback, he can always even the balance between two teams. But with that being said, I still think that the Bengals go ahead and pull out week 2. Week 3, we get the Bills at Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills, we generally do pretty good against them. Josh Allen is still there. They're still kind of rebuilding themselves. So we get some help to open the season up with playing the Bills. So I think that we get a W there. Just like Mikey Big Poppy just said, I think it's a dub. I agree. So we head at 2-1. We get ready to go into, I believe, our only primetime game of the season, and that is against the Squealers. That is going to be a good game. That's going to really be another measuring stick for where this team is at. I think that with the Steelers losing Antonio Brown, losing Le'Veon Bell, that's going to be a lot of losses for them. A lot of people still aren't counting them out. We'll see what happens. To me, I believe that this will either expose what kind of quarterback Ben really is without having those weapons. Don't forget they still have James Conner. They still have Juju, but we have to see if Juju is a number 1 receiver. This is going to be a game that the Bengals have to win. After being dominated by the Squealers a few years, I think this is a time for us to rise up and say that is over with. It's time to close that chapter on that domination. I think we go ahead and get a win here. I think we actually get a win against the Squealers. then, I mean, as I'm reading this and reacting to it, I'm kind of getting excited because then we walk right into the Cardinals, who could have Kyler Murray or whoever it is, but they still, I feel like, are a few years away from competing for at least seriously. I mean, they're picking first in the draft this year. So to me, I think that that's another game that the Bengals possibly have a gimme game there, especially with it being a young quarterback, whether it's Josh Rosen, whether it's Kyler Murray, whoever that young quarterback is, he's going to have to lead that young team. And they still have a bunch of holes on there with the new coaching staff. So with that said, that means I have us at 1, 2, 3, 4. 4-1, man. I'm not trying to be a homer, but the way that this schedule opens is kind of favorable, man. Honestly, the only two question marks for me are Seattle and the Steelers, but I'm going to say that given the new circumstances, we're going to get past both of those guys. Let's see. And then after that, we go at Baltimore. Baltimore is really going to be good this year. I think we actually split with them this year. You talk about them adding a guy like Earl Thomas. Lamar Jackson is working on his accuracy. They have Mark Ingram. That's going to be a tough game. That's going to be a tough game for us. So I'm going to go ahead and give us the L there. But like I said, I think we're going to split. So later on, I think we'll actually win against them. And then we have the Jaguars, week 7. That's going to be another tough game. The Jaguars upgraded at quarterback. They have Nick Foles. The last time we played them, it wasn't the best game for us. AJ Green, I'm looking forward to that rematch against Jalen Ramsey. I really want to see this happen because obviously they got into a fight last time, but this time they're going to be going at each other again. And last time Jalen Ramsey trash talked AJ, kind of got into his head. I want to see AJ go against this guy. This is the matchup that I want to see again because if you know, like I know, he actually beat Ramsey in that game, but Andy Dalton threw the pass out of bounds. He could have had a touchdown against Jalen Ramsey. So, man, it's tough to call that Jags game. Man. With them having Nick Foles and that defense right now, I'm gonna have to say that that's an L. I can't be a super homer, bro. So I'm gonna say that's an L. And then we travel to London to take on the Rams. The Rams just went to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say that that's gonna be another L. But then we'll get back on track the next week in week 10 against Baltimore. I told you guys that we're going to go ahead and split against the Ravens. We got the Ravens again week 10. I think we win that game. Then we head to Oakland, who's still rebuilding. I think they still have to figure out what their identity is. They obviously have 3 first-round draft picks, so their team could change. They do have AB now. They don't forget they still have Martavis Bryant over there as well. They still need to get the running back position figured out. They still need to figure out if Derek Carr is their quarterback. I don't know if they could possibly trade up and get Kyler Murray or not. I'm not sure if that's their plan, but we'll have to see what the Raiders are. I'll probably do another video down the line after this reaction saying who I think what my real thoughts are once, the draft plays out. But for right now, I'm going to call this against this matchup against the Raiders. I'm going to call it a W. And then we have the Steelers again. I'm going to probably split this one too. I'm just going to be real. Like, I feel like we can split. That's cool. We'll see what happens. But then we go to the Jets. I think that's a win. Then the very interesting part about this schedule is that we do not play Cleveland until the last 4 weeks of the season. You talk about week 14 and week 17. I think that we can split with them as well. I think that Cleveland has obviously upgraded. They have Odell Beckham Jr. They have, Jarvis Landry. They went and got some other guys out there. I think that they're going to be a formidable team. So I'm going to say that we're going to lose at Cleveland and we're going to win at home. And then we have the New England Patriots. I'm sorry, bro. That's probably going to be an L. And then we are at the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to call that a win. So let me tally this up. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 and 7. 9 and 7, bro. I think 9 and 7 is definitely doable for this team. The fact that, this is a new day. It's a new day. So Let me know what you guys think about that. And now I will open the floor for any questions that you guys might have had. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been on here, so let me know any questions that you guys think that you might have for me or that you want me to answer. I would love 10-6. Am I gonna go to any of the games? I'm going to try to go to possibly a game in the Natty. Now that I live in Orlando now, the flights to Cincinnati aren't that bad. I might try to go that way. I wanted to go to the Miami game, but it's like late in the season. I don't know how that's going to look. So depending on how that looks, I might go to that game. But honestly, I might try to go to week 12, man. I might have to see us versus Squealers, bro. I'm not even going to lie. Like, that might be a hell of a matchup for us. So for me to kind of witness. That's November 24th. Thanksgiving. I mean, I might be in Cincinnati around that time. We're going to see. Ty, if you go to the Miami game, we definitely got to get up, bro. Definitely. Who do I want the Bengals to draft at pick 11? Honestly, I want the Bengals to draft. I don't know if he's going to be there. I would say Devin White. If he's not there, I would want it to be let me think about this. If Devin White isn't there, I'm not a huge Devin Bush fan. I'm not against Devin Bush, but I'm not a huge Devin Bush fan at all. By no means do I like Devin Bush like that. Like, to me, he's just a little too small, but I'm warming up to him just because the linebacker class is horrible. Like, if you don't get Devin White, you kind of have to go with Devin Bush. So I wouldn't even be mad about that. Like, it wouldn't be sexy, but I just looked at our linebacker core today, bro, and it's pretty damn ugly. If not him, I would say Ed Oliver if he's still available. I see a lot of people sleeping on Ed Oliver, bro. That's who I really want. Outside of those guys, people talk about Haskins, bro. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer or anything like that. I don't think Haskins is going to be there at 11, bro. I just don't want people to get so excited and think that he's going to be there, and then he's not there, and then we just get upset. Like, it's happened to me so many years. Derwin James, all of these guys, I'm like, oh, they're falling, and then somebody just comes them. So, yeah, but outside of that, I also wouldn't mind Montez Sweat either. Like, an edge rusher is like a low-key need for us that we might possibly need as well. You talk about offensive linemen, I wouldn't mind taking a right tackle there either. Jawan Taylor, I'd probably rather have over Cody Ford for sure. Definitely. Andre Dillard would be an ugly pick, but I don't know. Let's see. Second round really depends on what we do in the first round, man. Like, if we roll the dice at just taking the best player available, like Ed Oliver or, somebody like that, or Jawan Taylor or something like that, I would say that you would go with a Mac Wilson. But in the first round, if you get, say, a Devin Bush or something like that, I would say that you would want to follow that back up with a right tackle or an edge rusher, one of the two. I think that we definitely need to do that. Possibly, I wouldn't be opposed to a quarterback in the second round, bro. Like, honestly, like, Will Grier, I think, is flying a lot under the radar. I don't know why. Like, to me, he's a pretty good quarterback. When I did Prime, Will Grier was actually one of the top ones. I could see us taking him in the second or third round. I don't have a problem with that. Let's see. Josh Allen is underrated. I don't think so. I think Josh Allen is amazing. Also, Mike Big Poppy, I agree with you on Locke, bro. I was late to the Drew Lock party. Drew Lock is a beast, bro. Like, honestly, I think I just going off of film and looking at everything, I actually like Drew Lock as a quarterback. Would they take him at 11? I don't know, but I really think that he would be available at 11 if the Broncos don't take him. But I think he's another guy that might be able to leapfrog Haskins in this draft. Kyler Murray is definitely going number one. That's no debate. But Drew Lock is a guy that would be intriguing. Like, I wouldn't mind picking Drew Lock at all. I don't think a lot of our fan base would be happy with that, but I wouldn't mind having Drew Lock in that arm and what he can do in this offense. That would be nice. Who are the best players in our secondary? To me, it's William Jackson III and Jesse Bates, hands down. Dre Kirk is always going to do his thing, but I think when you talk about just straight up talented secondary players, the most talented ones, I think it's those two. What would my thoughts be if we drafted Greedy Williams? That would just not fill a need at all. Like, I feel like corner is probably our strongest position depth-wise. I would be wondering why we didn't take a linebacker, especially when you have Preston Brown, Nick Vigil, and Jordan Evans are your starting linebackers. Bro, you got to get somebody else in there. You got Malik Jefferson, but you need way more depth than that. So, yeah, I would not like the Greedy Williams pick, not going to lie. What if we drafted a receiver? I wouldn't really like that either, man, because to be honest with you, I don't think we need to draft. Now, if you're saying what if we draft a receiver at the first pick, I don't like that. You talk about fourth, maybe late third, like a comp pick if we even have one of those. I don't think we do. I would be okay with that, but then I would immediately look at John Ross and wonder where we're going with him or what it is. Trade A.J. Green to the Jets for Haskins? Hell no. The Bengals are not trading A.J. Green. I don't know what dumb article had A.J. Green in a Jets jersey. If you know anything about the Cincinnati Bengals, and I don't know if you're a Jets fan, no offense or anything like that, the Bengals are not trading A.J. Green, bro. Like, they're gonna make sure that he retires a Bengal. So I hate to burst your bubble. I think the Jets are gonna do good this year. Good luck to you guys if you are a Jets fan. You guys aren't gonna get A.J. Green, bro. And for Dwayne Haskins, hell no. Who's Dwayne going to throw to? Tyler Boyd by himself? I don't know. I like Boyd and I like Ross, but we're not giving up AJ. Do you think we need more heat on defense? Yes, I do. I think we need more, obviously more players at the linebacker position. One thing that I was thinking of today was I wouldn't be mad if they went and grabbed, like, if Devin White, luckily, this is a dream scenario, if Devin White fell to them at 11, take Devin White. And if you coming back around in the third round and Mac Wilson is there, I will put a trigger on him too. Why not? Why not get two linebackers? It's the weakest position on our team. Let me see. Do you think Joe Mixon will re-sign when his contract is up? I think if we're competing and he's competing at a high level, definitely. I don't see us letting Joe Mixon go. You like O'Shawn Joseph from Florida? I have not looked at him yet, Ty. I will have to look at him. I haven't heard much about him, but we'll see. Who's the best receiver in the AFC North? Man, I got A.J. Green as being – I did a video on here for A.J. Green being the best receiver in the league. He's always been the best receiver in the AFC North to me. Odell Beckham Jr. is a hell of a player, though. Like, I'm kind of biased on that, bro. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of biased. But the funny thing is both players are kind of injury-prone in terms of what they do. But to me, I don't think there's any better receiver than A.J. Green when you're talking about the total package, when you talk about route running, when you talk about short and intermediate, deep threat. Like, he is up there with Deshaun Jackson in terms of being like a productive deep threat in this league, which is crazy. OBJ is a total package too, though. So, like, honestly, you could toss a coin and ask which one is the best receiver. To me, I'm going to go with AJ. If you like OBJ, hey, it is what it is. What about getting Sean Oakman? I feel like Sean Oakman is one of those players. It was a dude that went to Ohio State that was like Jack, but he was trash as a player. I hope he's not one of those kind of players. I wouldn't mind giving him a shot. I think he deserves a chance since he was falsely accused of that. But yeah, I would like to see. I wouldn't mind them doing that. Zach Taylor says that he would call the plays. What are your thoughts on that? I don't mind having Zach Taylor call the plays. I think if he's supposed to be an offensive guru, he's supposed to command this offense, why not have him calling the plays? Nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Yes, A.J. Green is the most underrated wide receiver in the league. Top upcoming stars on the Bengals, I would probably say Jesse Bates. We saw that last year. William Jackson III, another one. I want to say Sam Hubbard. I just gotta see more from him. Carl Lawson, I think, is gonna be a star, but he's coming back off of a knee injury. He's another guy that I like. Thinking about it now, Joe Mixon obviously is a monster. Um, Other upcoming stars. That's a good question. Let me see. Tyler Boyd, obviously. I think that might actually be where it stops in terms of I'm talking about like Pro Bowler kind of potential guys. Do we need a tight end? I think so. I think we still have to take one. Eifert still going to be that guy. He's had a bunch of injuries that aren't necessarily due to the same thing. They're just freak injuries. But you only have him and Uzoma. You have to get another guy in there. I wouldn't mind having another option in this offense. Wouldn't mind seeing that taken in the 4th through the 6th round. You got to bring somebody in. What's my opinions on Dre? I think Dre is unfairly criticized sometimes. Last year was one of Dre's best seasons that he's had. He didn't have the interceptions like he did before where he would pick them off and take them to the house, but he did allow like some of the lowest quarterback percentage or quarterback rating or completion percentage, something like that. Look it up. But he's played a lot better than our people have criticized him for. There's been way worse Dre Kirkpatrick years. I think that he's a solid cornerback. I don't think he'll be like a super elite guy, but I think that he's a solid cornerback, which is not bad to have in a league like this. I disagree, Ty. I like CJ over Croft. I don't like Croft like that, to be honest with you. Auden Tate, we'll have to see what happens, man. We have to see what happens. Yes, I do remember when Dre fumbled that interception. It is what it is, man. He was kind of tired. I remember that. He was kind of tired. Noah Fant is cool. I just don't want to. Me personally, I wouldn't want to spend a 1st-round pick on a tight end. That's just me personally. I just think that we have bigger needs at linebacker, at right tackle. There's a couple of spots that you could go. Even edge rusher, man. I'd rather spend that on an edge rusher. There's a lot of other positions I'd rather spend that on versus a tight end. Now, 2nd round, I might be open to 2nd round. Like 2nd round, cool. To me, I really think the best point to pick a tight end is like 3rd round. That's just me. I feel like you can get some guys that are in that range that you can just find and hit on just like that. Is it smart to take a quarterback in the 1st round? It depends on who's there, man. I mean, like, if Kyler Murray was there, he's not going to be. But if he was there, you have to take him. Dwayne Haskins is intriguing. I would think that you would probably think about pulling the trigger on Haskins. But if you've listened to any of the reports and news surrounding the Bengals, they haven't met with any quarterback except Ryan Finley and some other dude I've never heard of in my life. So if I said the dude's name, you guys probably never heard of him in your life either. But again, at the same time, you have to understand we don't have access to these visits to know who they've met with. We're not going to hear them all. We've got a new coaching staff. They got new sources. We might hear 10 to 12 of them. We're not going to hear all 15. So there's no telling who they met with. And, I mean, it was Ian Rappaport that said it. This is the same Ian Rappaport that said that the Bengals wanted to trade John Ross. We saw that wasn't true. So how much stock can you really put into that? I don't know. But I would think if I'm the Bengals, I would think that they would want to at least consider taking Haskins at 11. But I also think that they're going to think in their heads, if you have Devin White and Haskins on the board at the same time, they're going to take Devin White. I wouldn't mind Drew Lock, bro. I thought that I was the only person that wants Drew Lock. I wouldn't mind Drew Lock, man. I really would not mind Drew Lock. I think Drew Lock is like, in a sense, the Pat Mahomes of this class, the guy that slept on, that has probably the best arm, and nobody's really talking about him like that. So yeah, we'll see. John Miller, I think John Miller is cool. I still have to see him with our offensive line. Like, once I see him play, I've heard good things. I've looked up good things. I mean, anybody can be better than Alex Redmond, right? I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how much of an upgrade he is. I do not know why people call Drew Lock trash. Like seriously, this is nothing about Andy Dalton or anything. I was just looking through quarterbacks and I was putting prime together, and Will Greer and I think Drew Lock came up near the top. And when you watch Drew Lock, dude can throw. Like, I think the only negative thing people really say about Drew Lock is when he, if I'm not mistaken, when he is faced with a lot of pressure, he's had, some issues. But what quarterback hasn't? Honestly, like, most quarterbacks don't respond well against pressure. But to me, he's one of the top quarterbacks, bro. You just watch his film, man. That's all I have to say. Just watch his film. Offensive line definitely needs to step it up. Who is the best offensive lineman in the draft? I think it's between Jonah Williams and Juwan Taylor. If it were up to me, it would be hard to pick either one of those guys. I would feel like the floor is higher with Jonah Williams, because I don't think that there's a chance that he'll be a bust. But to be honest with you, I think Jonah Williams or Juwan Taylor, they're probably going to be gone, because I think that Jackson is going to pick one of them. They just got Nick Foles. They need to secure Foles and make sure that he's okay, especially investing $22 million a year in him. I think that they're going to go with the offensive lineman. Greg Little in the second, I wouldn't mind that. That's not bad. I wouldn't mind Devin Bush either. It's like you have all of this excitement, and it's like, oh, this guy could drop or this guy could drop. But honestly, like, if Devin White goes, it wouldn't be bad for us to pick him either. Like, I'm not a huge Devin Bush fan, but and really that comes from not the fact that he's super athletic and all of that. That's cool. The height concerns me, and the lack of plays and coverage that I've seen him with. Like, we have for so many years gotten killed across the middle with tight ends and just people that run right over the middle, and nobody can even guard them. Oh, you know how I feel about Ed Oliver. He's amazing. I would take Ed Oliver. Do I think it's possible Andy could be a better quarterback under Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan? Yeah, I think he could be. I think he could be. I mean, this is a guy, Zach Taylor, that turned it around. He either turned it around or he helped turn around Jared Goff's career. Yeah, I have no idea why Quentin Flowers is playing running back instead of quarterback either. That just doesn't make sense. Unless he's just like horrible as a quarterback. But I remember him being pretty good in college. But with that being said, thank you guys for coming out tonight. I appreciate you. Like I said, I'm going to have some more content coming. I'll answer a couple questions before I go. Somebody said, what are my feelings on cutting Burfict? If you follow this channel for a minute, you will know that I was projecting that Burfict was going to be one of the guys that was on the bubble to get cut. New regime, Marvin Lewis walking out the door. It sucks. I feel like Burfict is a legend. I really didn't like how a lot of our media members, and I'm just speaking personally, it's no shots at anybody, but I just didn't like how our own media guys jumped on him. I mean, he might not have been the best acting towards them, but I mean, honestly, bro, like, this is just me personally. A lot of the media people, they ask questions that are supposed to get reactions of people pissing them off. Like, they have to do their job, but at the same time, like, there's certain stuff that if you ask a certain question or you do a certain thing, you're gonna get a certain type of reaction from players. So for me, I just didn't like how a lot of our guys turned their backs on Vontaze Burfict. This was one of the best linebackers, in my opinion, to ever wear the stripes. You know, given his trials and tribulations and all of that, this was the guy that made me feel, and people want to call him dirty and stuff like that. We got bullied for years by the Pittsburgh Squealers. And this was a guy that made me feel like the Odell Thurman days. I think he was even better than Odell Thurman. This is a guy that made me feel like we could at least get some revenge on them. This is a guy that was a stud. If Jeremy Hill doesn't fumble that ball, his entire career, I think, is totally viewed as different now. He's always been a top 5 linebacker in the league to me. Last year, he had an off year. He was not the same Vontaze Burfict that we're accustomed to. I'm still thinking about the guy that had 18 or almost 20 tackles in one playoff game. This guy, I'm going to miss him, bro. He's on the logo. He's going to stay on the logo. Vontaze, all of his faults and all of that, I still think that he was just a guy that loved playing the game of football, got 100% of his emotions caught up in football. But I think that he was a guy that will forever be one of the legends to wear the Bengals jersey. I think, in my opinion, if he didn't have as many injuries and suspensions, this dude would be like a future Hall of Famer. He might not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but to me, he's like, honestly, one of the best linebackers that ever played for us. So sad to see him go, not surprised. I wish him the best of luck. Vontaze, if you're watching this, Houday, bro, we appreciate everything you did. You were always 100 with the fan base. We love that. And I wish him the best, man. We don't play the Raiders this year, I don't think. Oh, we do play the Raiders. Just don't kill any of your old teammates, bro. I doubt that you will. But I wish Vontaze the best. And I hope one day, man, when we have a ring of honor, that we can bring Tez back to the jungle and definitely, give him a shout out or honor him for everything he did here. It's Tez, bro. Tez was the heart of the defense. So our heart has been ripped out, but hopefully we can replace him within the coming weeks. I don't think you can ever replace Vontaze Burfict. That's a tall order, excuse me. So we'll see what happens, man. Maybe Devin White comes in and we get a new linebacker. But best of luck to Tez, and that's what I wanted to say. So as usual, I will leave you guys with a Houday all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.